Can you hear it?
Yep.
Two bald guys and they're talking about hockey. Two bald guys and they're talking about hockey. Two bald guys and they're talking about hockey. Two bald guys talking about hockey. Two bald guys and they're 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 talking about hockey. And they're bald. And there's hockey. Hockey.
Hey,
Hey,
hey, we're back. We are back. We're live and we're talking about UFA. So
UFA
there we
and
are.
trades. A,
The
a three-way
insanity.
trade.
Oh, well, do you want to start off with that?
Sure, because I
I'll
like it.
let you. I'll let you start off with that while I'm sending links off and stuff. So that's a good. I'll call it up here for you, and we'll let you talk about it.
When I was doing my research for the show, yes, we do some research for the show. We don't just show up. Uh, Sometimes we do, but
Sometimes I was gonna say, well, yeah, we have lives. I'm not gonna lie.
yeah. So, but today I had time, so I was doing some research. Well, no, it wasn't today; it was earlier this week, and I came across a trade from Utah, even though he's got the Arizona logo on still on, uh, Colorado and Toronto. So just like in the NHL, Toronto acted as the broker, I guess, in this deal. So uh, Arizona, Utah traded Shabbat to Colorado, but Colorado needed to create some space. So the Shabbat was traded to Toronto from Utah, and for a fourth round pick. So Utah gets the fourth from Vancouver in 2025. Toronto retains um, $1.5 million. And previously, if you see it here below, Utah sent Pittsburgh third round pick in 2025 for Brodin and Luneau. And then when I saw that, I'm like, what the hell? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. And then I started to look at the rest of the trades. So, and then Toronto took the third round pick. Okay, wait a minute. Oh no, or Colorado sent the third round pick to Toronto for Shabbat and $1.5 million retained for 1 year. So to retain 1 year, the Leafs move up about 50 spots in the draft next year from a mid to late around fourth to an early third, because Pittsburgh doesn't look like they're going to be competing for the Stanley Cup. And Arizona, Utah gets Brodin, Luneau, and yep, and a fourth, and Colorado gets Thomas Chabot. So I thought it was like very innovative, and I love the way the three guys got together and made it work. Found a way to
Yeah,
get it work.
yeah, and I like actually what Toronto gets here for what they did. They moved up a bunch of spots and didn't really give up much to do it. Just the 1.5 million in cap space,
Yeah,
and I
to
think that
retain.
what Colorado and I keep wanting to say Arizona, Colorado and Utah did is a wash. Like I think that's a fair part of the trade. I like if I'm to pick a winner, I'm probably picking Toronto here because they didn't really do much, and they're getting, like you said, about 50 picks higher in the draft. Well, that's usually worth way more than 1.5 million
Yeah,
based off of like you wouldn't to move up from the fourth to that third round pick, you'd probably have to give up a fourth or a fifth. And
yeah,
those go for well over 1.5 million in the DCHL. So
exactly. So great deal for Toronto, and to be the broker. And the other two owners get exactly what they want
Yeah.
and what they needed. So
Yeah, I like that trick. I did. I'll admit I haven't done a whole lot of looking at trades over the last few weeks. We were kind of looking at these before we went on, and I was kind of surprised with a couple of them. Starting with uh, I thought the Nick Perbix for Logan Stanley and 4 million was kind of funny. So
yeah,
I don't know why New York Islanders wanted Nick Perbix, to be honest. But Logan Stanley and 4 million go to Montreal. Not bad.
yeah,
And
added depth
where's the
defenseman.
Barzell trade? There it is. I had not seen this one. The Matthew Barzell, Sebastian Kosa, Hunter Bershowitz, and a fourth going to and 5 million going to Calgary for Matthew Barzell.
No.
Wow.
I think Calgary needed to clear some cap space. And he gets a goalie of the future is still developing, a good prospect defenseman, $5 million in the fourth. So
Yeah, Hunter Bershowitz, if I'm pronouncing it properly, congrats to me. Had a good year last year. Sebastian Kosa did not have a good year last year.
no, but he still has potential.
Yeah.
And he's a 6'6" goalie, and they usually take a year or two.
He'll be a
develop.
while. He'll
Yeah.
be a while before he's in the NHL anyway. So
Yeah.
that's fine. But everything else, I like nothing really jumps out at me on any of these trades as anything
No.
really too interesting to talk about. But the 3-team trade that you went over, very cool. So I am going to stop sharing here, and I will hand the sharing over to my compatriot here, and let him call up the sheet that he did the work on. So shout out to Jean for doing the prep work on this episode. And we'll let him kind of lead the way.
Why is it not?
There you are.
Okay, there it is.
If you want to enter full screen mode, double click, but you don't have to.
I like to see that I'm there. I can see. So what I did is it was divided forward, defense, and goalies for each team, what they've acquired. So what I did is I just put everything together. So we look at all per team, all the players that have acquired through free agency this year. So we're gonna take a quick look at who everybody got and what we think of it and what we think of the contract. So don't get upset if we don't like it, and don't get too excited if we like it, because it means nothing.
Get upset. Get upset.
So it just means it's our opinion. So you want to get started with Anaheim?
Yeah, well, let's do it alphabetically.
Okay. So Dan acquired Nyquist, Palmieri, Brossoit, Drouin, and Ben Chariot. So it's to me, he's acquiring second, third line players and backup goalie and Chariot.
Well, he needed to get to the floor, right?
Yeah, he needed to get to the floor, but also like what I like is he spent some money, but I keep going back to in 3 years from now, and 2 years from now, the cap is probably going to be close to $1 million. So the $4.7 million that he spent on Hawaii, who's got potential, he's in Colorado in a good situation, that could be a really good buy in 2 years from now, 3 years from now.
Oh, I like all of these signings. Like there's not a bad signing here. Like, and these are contracts that will be livable.
Yeah, they're manageable contracts. Like they're not too long and they're not too expensive. So he's added depth to his team, and that's what he needed to do.
The T Ferry just came.
So
with the This is the manly mug of manliness for everyone.
Nice.
My wife's a teacher. She got it as an end of school year gift, and she wanted to get rid of it. I made her keep it.
So
So it's my mug.
let's get sidetracked here. Your wife must get like you must have like you must need a storage room just for mugs.
Oh, Jean, we give them away. Actually, the thing we get now, and this is no lie, like we have in our house right now over $1,000 in gift cards, like that
But
we
you
have
know what?
just started trying to spend.
I stopped trying to go look for gifts. It's like because here's a gift card. Go buy yourself something nice because I don't want to put the effort into trying to buy gifts. So
No,
yeah, everybody's got everything.
I just we just spent $500 at the keg. It took us several trips to the keg to do it because I got those gift cards, and we get Tim Hortons cards
Oh,
like
and it's true. I
crazy.
wasn't thinking about it. You also are working with kids as
Yep,
a swim coach, so
yep.
you also get mugs and gift cards.
I get more bottles of wine and
Oh,
things like that. Here's some. You work with my kid. Oh, here's some alcohol. I get lots of that. But it's the gift cards. It's the last year I spent $300 at Tim Hortons. Like just I'm trying to blow it. Like I'm trying to spend because we over COVID we never spent any of this, and it
yeah,
just grew. And now we're like realizing, holy shit, we got to get rid of this. Like I don't want to be dead, and the companies have all this money sitting there laughing at my dead corpse.
yeah.
So if you want, I we actually because we don't drink Starbucks, we sent Matt Waters a $100 Starbucks card a month ago, just because. So if you like Starbucks or something like that, hit me up. Maybe we can make a deal. Like you
Sure.
give me a fifth round pick, and I'll send you $100 Starbucks card.
Sounds like a plan to me.
Sorry, carry on. But just to finish off with Anaheim for me, I thought he did a great job. Like
Yeah.
the
Patient.
the Nyquist deal was good. The Palmieri, Brossoit, all these contracts, he will not be regretting it down the road, which is what he wants.
Yeah. So Boston is next, and I will tell you, throughout the free agency frenzy, I was like, where the hell is he getting all of his money? Because he's got like $20 million in salary in those three contracts. I had it highlighted there. Just a minute. Those three contracts,
Well,
$19.5 million in salary approximately.
one of the things that I will say is he's making trades during free agency, and he's making trades before they've been finalized, and I think the bog needs to deal with that because it's not fair to the guys that are running the show to have him making bids. Like he's made a trade, but it hasn't been finalized. So
Yeah.
he's making bids based off that trade that hasn't been finalized, and the guys who are running free agency have no idea. And if you look at this amazing spreadsheet these guys have set up,
Yep.
like the whole thing is absolutely amazing. Way better than any of the shit I ever did. So full credit to these guys for staying on top of it. But
Yeah.
it's really hard to stay on top of it when you're making trades before and bids are based off of these trades that aren't official yet. It's not official until the commission approves it. It says that on the site. And
Yeah.
then you're making a bid saying, well, I made this trade. Well, you didn't make this trade yet because it hasn't been approved. So you shouldn't be making a bid based off of that.
Until that it's been approved. Yeah.
Exactly.
I agree with you. That I
And
think that's something the bog needs to address for next year. um,
I,
because
I
they need to say that we need to like. I think that I think that's something that Bog needs to address for next year.
like
Is
I would I
you
when I
make
did
your
it,
trade?
I wanted to put a 7 day or a 6 day freeze on roster moves, just so that we could keep on top of all of this. Because
Yeah,
you it's crazy when people are putting all these bids out and you're trying to calculate how much they've got and how much they can spend. It is insanity.
I
And
know.
these guys created a freaking amazing spreadsheet to help with that. And if you're making trades and making bids based off of these trades that haven't actually been approved and gone, that the guys don't know about, it really defeats all the freaking work that they did. So, I mean, credit to the boys that did this, but they got it. Like Nathan, you can't be making a trade, making bids off of a trade that hasn't happened yet,
Yeah,
which is
I
kind of what you were doing, and not just you, but I would, like I said, I would put a freeze on the first few days of the free agency process just to let the guys be able to keep on top of everything because it's insane. So yeah, sorry, John, you can. I'm off my soapbox.
no, it's I completely I I understand what you're saying. My point is I a little bit agree with you is that you should not be allowed to use the money until it's been cleared and approved and processed by the commissioner. So when we look at the website, your team should have the money and
Well,
the
and
space and everything.
think about it. I mean, like 1% of trades don't get approved, or maybe less than 1%. But it's
Yeah.
not a zero number. It's a greater
It's
than
but
zero number. And
it's
if
just
what happens if I make a trade with you, Jean, and then I make a bid based off of this trade, but then the commish says, no, we can't let that trade happen for lots of different reasons. For it's an unfair trade, or I couldn't trade that player to begin with, or you couldn't acquire that player, or whatever the reason.
yeah,
Now I've got this bid that puts me over. Like it's a problem.
I agree. I
So
agree. It's it could create issues, so that's why I think you need to have the money in there.
need to have the money for sure beforehand.
Yeah.
So anyway, Buffalo.
Buffalo. Um, I think he did really well with Iman.
I
Like
think
he,
the Hyman deal was good.
yeah. Coleman at $10 million. Whoa. But
I
he's
don't know. I don't understand that.
that to
Three
me, that's
years
a
at
lot.
10 million.
And then he picked up some depth players after that. But $10 million on Coleman, that's going to be a tough contract to move because I think Coleman had a career year last year and he's never going to do that again. Yet I could be wrong.
And but 3 years at 10 million. Like if it was 1 or 2 years, I I don't know. We'll see. But I, I don't like that contract, to be honest. But again, I'm like you. I think the Hyman deal is great. Under 10 million for a guy who scored 50 plus goals last year.
Yeah. Can I go take the show sideways for a
What do you
second?
mean?
Well, as you know, I'm in another league right now, and we're doing our entry draft. Right now, we're in the second round, and it's my pick at pick 56 right now.
Oh, who are you going
Okay,
to take? Who's
so
available?
so
Let
here's the
me.
three guys that I'm debating. Okay, Danny Nelson.
Nah. Oh,
Uh,
this is guys from last year's draft.
yeah, last year's
Okay.
draft. Jesse Polkinen or Maxime Tsiplikov. The rest of the guys, I'm not crazy about.
And you're picking at what number? 50.
56.
Simplikov's available.
Yeah.
Is your team competitive?
Yep.
See, I'd probably go with Simplikov here. I don't think I'd take Danny Nelson.
Really? I'm a Danny Nelson fan. I was gonna take him.
Oh, then take him. I'm not.
No, but I like that to have the conversation.
I think Simplikov's going to be like a real player in the NHL. Like, I mean, who knows?
Okay. I'm
But
gonna take
I wouldn't take Polkinen.
no,
No,
I think he's gonna be good.
it is interesting that he's available in this year's draft in that league when he went in this year's draft.
Yeah, because he's older, right?
Yeah. So, and if any of them are watching, I'll bet you if you don't take Polkinen, he's available at your next pick in the third round.
Okay. Let's see. Let's see. Okay.
If I'm wrong, I'll
anything else
send
with
you a
Buffalo?
$10 Tim Hortons card, Jeff.
Okay. So anything else with Buffalo?
No, I think he did all right. But like I said, I think he did well on one, and I don't think he did well on the other. And I think the other contracts are just kind of
They're average.
yeah.
$4 million for Akinpaw is a lot, but it's
funny that Max Pacioretty's going like his rating has dropped that much.
yeah, because he spent so much time being hurt, right? So
Okay, Calgary. Calgary
Calgary.
signed a bunch of players today, though,
Okay, well,
but they're scrubs.
yeah.
They're scrubs, like
So,
Zemgus Girgensson.
not worth for us to spend any time on.
Yeah, and I don't think we need to spend any time on this. Martin Jones.
Martin Jones, backup goalie at 1.5.
Yeah, and he's an
Okay.
AHLer right now. So
Yeah, correct. But he's still a backup goalie.
yeah,
Carolina just got Zach Parise, so at
1 year,
2.5.
$2.5 million. Okay,
He's gonna play on the third line for a good pickup for your third line. Then Chicago, Bustag, Oshie, and Brendan Smith. I don't know what you think of Bustags at 6.3 million. I think that's a lot.
I to be fair, to be honest, I thought they would do more in free agency than what they did.
But
Because I agree with you, Bukestad, Oshie, and Brendan Smith is really not. It's not a big free agency.
yeah, it's like not impressed with that one.
And he had
Sorry,
cash,
Chris.
like he had money to spend, right? Like his,
Yeah. Well, he spent
well, this is 12 million.
17, almost $18 million in DCHL cash. So, and
well, I'm looking at the cap hit
another
going,
12 million in cap hit.
Yeah.
So you had space. So,
and I don't know if I think Bukestad's going to be a contract that in 3 years might not be one you like it.
no, I don't like it now.
Well, but I think it gets that much worse down the road. But yeah, okay, Colorado.
Colorado's looking to compete this year, right?
Anders Lee, though, here's 6.7 million. Oof. That's a lot.
But like he didn't spend any money on the bonus.
Maybe he
I don't
didn't
know
have a
why.
lot of cash.
Why not?
I don't know.
Why not? Like
I'm gonna look and see
even
how
if
much cash.
you throw like $1.5 million, you bring the cap hit down. from
Yeah.
6.7. So I like the Freddie Gaudreau deal at 1.9. He's a good third line player. So
Yeah. I've never been a Freddie Gaudreau fan from when he was with the Leafs. But
so
sure.
I like that.
He didn't have a lot of cap space though, right?
I don't think he did. But you still spend $13
12
million in
million.
cap space. Right?
Columbus. I guess the big signing would be Drew Doughty.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Drew Doughty. 10.25 for the next 5 years at 34 years old. That's
That is a contract he will definitely be regretting down the road. But I think it'll also be a decent contract the next couple of years for him.
yeah. And you know what? He just added a really good defenseman
Yeah.
onto his team. So you've added quality. So I think that's good. The rest of them,
They're just guys.
Cogliano, Vesey, Varlamov, bottom of the lineup players.
Yeah, they're just guys.
Yeah. Dallas. So Verana, McNabb, and Casey DeSmith. He didn't have a lot of cap space. It's like he
Yeah.
had very little cap space. So,
But he had most like a lineup mostly set up too, right?
Mhm.
So yeah.
Yeah, I think he added some depth, in which is always good.
Oh, here we are.
Detroit.
We're here. We are here.
Detroit.
Bring it on. You want to go first?
No, you go.
Oh, let me go. I'll be the asshole. Okay. First of all, I'm gonna say this. I don't hate the Panarin contract. I hear lots of people talking in the league about how it's one of the best contracts in free agency. And the logic they use is he didn't go max contract. And I don't hate it. I think it's a reasonable contract. I don't see it as a great contract. I just see he got a good player at about the value that he should have gotten. Like it's not an overpayment. Well, it might be a little bit of an overpayment in my mind, but it's UFA, so you're gonna have to overpay a little bit, right? Like it's not a crazy overpayment. And the term is okay, but come on. Like you guys that say this is like one of the top contracts, you're crazy. You're crazy. Like this Trevor Sifton told me today that it's the ninth highest contract in the league. And my reply to that is he the ninth best player in the league? Like, I don't think he's not in the top 15. I like he'd be now free agency makes that a little bit unfair to say that about him, but
Yeah.
I
So
mean the Panarin deal, it's okay.
okay, I like the Panarin deal because at 13.5 for 5 years, it's if he keeps the player, it's a manageable contract. If he tries to trade or decides to trade Panarin, it's a tradable contract. So I like that deal. I like what he did there because he got to me the best player in free agency this year. So when you
And he got
walk
him
away
locked
with the
down
best
for 5
player
years.
and in the deal, I think you did really well. So good job, Trevor. I like that. And at 13.5 million, it's really manageable. And as I said earlier, and many times, the cap is going to be going up. And in 3 years from now, you're going to be $100 million, and that cap hit is going to be very manageable. So good deal. Brent Burns and Fleury, it's like
0 cents. Makes
I don't
0 cents to
understand.
me why he did those two contracts, except to get to the cap floor.
Yes,
But
and it's like it doesn't make your team better. It it doesn't make your team better. You still like with Panarin and the guys that are graduating this year, your team is still 2 to 3 years away from competing. But and that's fine because you're rebuilding. But you were 2 to 3 years away from rebuilding, from competing 2 to 3 years away from ago.
If he, instead
So
of doing Brent Burns, if he had done Jared Sturgeon at around the same thing, it would have been a win. Instead of Marc-Andre Fleury, if he had gone Freddie Anderson, who went for dirt fucking cheap, like that would have been a win. Like
yeah,
I
well,
like
S.L. Lindell that went to Edmonton at 8.1 million, like $8.2 million for the next 6 years. He's 31 years old. He's a good top four defenseman.
yeah. And this
So
is
now
the problem is that he thought just get to the cap floor, I'll get these two really good guys for 1 year. And it's dude, think what's your team gonna need in 2 years, 3 years, when your team is ready to go, you're just gonna be doing the same thing again.
yeah. So
We both like the Panarin contract. Like,
yeah.
to be fair, we both like that.
So and remember that we want Trevor and we want Detroit to do well. We want them to start competing. And we're in the same division. So
For the record,
it's not
I would love a league where 32 teams are trying to make the playoffs. I mean, that'll never happen, but
yeah.
that's when the league is at its best, in my opinion.
So Edmonton. I liked what he did here. Not
Well, he
crazy
made
about the
trades for down the road. He did what Detroit should have done.
I'm not crazy about the Connor Garland deal at 6 years. The 6 years isn't what I'm not crazy about, but the 3.5 million is extremely manageable. The guy's 29 years old, so you've got time. But in Lindell, I love the Lindell deal, and Forbert is a good bottom to top five. He's a 5'6" defenseman. Gustafson and Lyon are depth players, so I like what he did there.
Yeah, I think he built in 3 years. His team will be in better shape because of this free agency, and plus what he does over the next couple of years.
Yeah.
But you'll see the difference in 2 years, 3 years.
Yeah. So this was a plus for him.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
Florida,
I will
the best
shut up and let you
freaking
talk.
contract signing of anyone. Freddie Anderson. Like how?
I didn't think I was going to get him at 7 million. Definitely didn't. Like I cannot tell you that I thought I was going to be able to get him at 7.
Jean,
If I'd
known that he would have gone that cheap, I wouldn't have signed Jonathan Quick.
And you know what the thing is? You and I talk a lot. And you told me you were going after Freddie Anderson. And when you didn't bid me up, I'm like, what's going
because
on?
I had already closed on.
Oh, yeah, it's true. But when you didn't go after him, I'm like, what's going on here?
Well, I guess I'll have to send you a trade offer in
Yes.
in September, October. But heck, like
I think the thing that threw you off is when Fleury went for 10 million, and who was the other goalie that went for like a stupid contract?
Well, Jake Allen went for a stupid contract, but that's not who you're talking about.
No, there was another goalie that went for a stupid contract. We'll see it, and I'll say that's the guy.
Yeah.
So anyways, Yeah. Anything else?
Well, I mean, you did well. Like again, what we this is what we're talking about when we say when you're a team that's a bottom feeder team, a team that's not trying to make a team rebuilding, you don't want to be nothing in free agency. You want to get contracts that are going to help you down the road. And this is what this is. This is, Ryan O'Reilly, long term, if it's a movable contract, and if you keep him, it's still like you have options. You've kept your options open here. You didn't
Yeah.
overpay, and you got a good player. Freddie Anderson, like the trade offers you're gonna get, like because I'm not gonna give you a first round pick, but somebody's gonna come up with a big time offer here for him. So, and
Mm-hmm.
if not, I mean, you've got an NHL #1 goalie. He had
Yeah.
injury problems last year, but I mean he's still an NHL goalie. Like this is what people need to do when they're rebuilding and not just spend $10 million or $15 million on
A 1 year player.
40-year-olds.
No. It's I'll tell you my thinking. I was looking at my team, and next year I'm gonna have like almost $50 million in cap space, eh?
50?
50. Like it's gonna be between 45 and $50 million next year. So it's something like that. It's stupid. So I said I have to spend money, not just this year, next year also, because I'm gonna have to start spending money
Just to get to the floor.
just to get to the floor. So I might as well get some quality players.
Well, if for
While I'm
no
doing
other
it.
reason, to trade them, or
Yeah.
that they're going to be part of your team, your good team when you're ready to go.
Yeah.
And
So
I mean,
and
this is that.
Kuznetsov's contract at 8.6 million is coming off the books next year because he's in the KHL.
Okay, LA.
So LA,
LA just got like filled some holes. I think like
yeah,
they weren't very busy.
he didn't have a lot of space, cap space. I know that, but I like what he got. He got two solid players, forwards, and a quality depth defenseman. So I like it. Good job, JL.
Yeah, Minnesota.
Minnesota, Jake.
I
Yeah,
I think I like what he did, but Jordan Stahl at 4 million or almost 5 million is an overpayment.
yeah, it is. But it's only 1 year.
Yeah.
So I guess he's got the like he didn't make a huge contract for the next 3 years. Uh, so Neil with Nashville. Okay, it is. I'm gonna say it again. It is extremely satisfying to see a Nashville GM being active. So good job, Neil. And I felt so bad because he could not win anybody. He was bidding all like I was watching his bids and I was like, he's gonna win. He's got to win at least one every once in a while. He
Yeah.
was not winning anything. And the guy that Jean Brisson from Vancouver sent me a message. He said, take a look at Jeff Carter. Is it Jean Brisson? I'm going to have to double check. But send me a message about Jeff Carter. If you have Jeff Carter in the playoffs, you're making it to the Stanley Cup finals. Last 5 years, 3 Stanley Cup wins and 4 Stanley Cup finals. Jeff Carter. From
Well,
not always from
Nashville's
the
got a
same team.
decent team. Like I think, and he's not he's not made any mistakes yet.
So yeah, so he tried, but he could not get close the deal on any of these guys. So He needs a little bit of luck. So, Rangers. Jan Ruda's, that's a big contract. In my opinion,
Pretty on
3.5 for the
Ruda.
next 5 years.
I think Ruda makes like $1 million a year or less in the NHL.
So I think I got him for like 1.8 3 years ago, something like that.
Yeah.
He didn't get any better. He didn't improve as he got older. So I don't like
And a
that
5 year
contract.
deal. And a 5 year deal. Like there's no
5 year
way
deal.
there's no way he's in the NHL in 5 years.
No.
So he just spent $9 million in DCHL cash for a guy that he probably like 5 of that million will have just been thrown out the window.
Yeah. So what we're saying here, Mark, is that the quality of those two guys are really close to it. You could have had for minimum salary, like for $1 million each.
Yep.
There might not be those two guys, but you would have had really close quality for defensemen if you're looking for a couple of defensemen. So.
Yep. Okay. I'll let
Okay.
you rip me on this.
Oh, so Jonathan Quick, 4.2 million for 2 years. I think you panicked on that one, Steve. I don't like that move.
I
I
needed a goalie, and
know you needed a goalie, and his rating at 88 is good, but
you're right that I panicked. You're right that I panicked,
I
but
think
there were guys that were bidding on players just to bid up players.
so.
And I'm calling Zach out on that,
Yes,
as well as other people. But they would just bid on players because
because they
why
wanted
not?
everybody.
Why
It's like
not?
it was.
So I couldn't
It,
let Freddie Gaudreau or not Freddie Anderson. I
it
couldn't
was
wait
like
on Freddie Anderson.
there's some guys that were there during free agency, just like I am when I get into a bakery where I want to buy everything.
Oh my God! It's the last the blueberry muffin.
Yep.
Better buy it now.
So Enrique, I think you overpaid on the cap hit, but 2 years I like
Yes.
that.
Yeah. Well, like it's not a horrible overpayment, but it's an overpayment.
Yeah,
Like,
but it's free agency. We keep saying it. You're gonna overpay in free agency.
and as long as he's better than Tristan Jarry, I'll be happy. But I do like the Adam Henry deal.
Yeah, he's adding quality to your team. So and you had the cap space. So like it's not a 5 year deal; it's a 2 year deal. So I can live with it.
And it's under 7 million. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So
I also got Derek Ryan as well. It doesn't show here, but
yeah, but he wasn't
and
on
he's
it.
a depth forward. That's fine.
So so Josh, Philly.
He was in on so many big names, and
He
he
had
didn't get
lots of cap
any,
space, eh? And tons of money.
and he couldn't get the big. He couldn't catch a big fish.
No. Well, he got Jamie Benn at 9 million.
He was trying
And
on Stamkos big time.
he got Larson at 7.2. And Brody, I'm not a fan of Brody.
No.
That deal for Brody, I'm not a fan. So,
Well, 3 years too, right? Like
yeah.
again,
So
I'm not so sure Brody's a quality NHLer in. Like I don't know that he's in the NHL in 3 years.
no. So, but he had the cap space, and he's a guy that's trying to win. So he obviously wanted to add depth to his defenseman, and good defenseman, and so he's a guy that's trying to win now. He went for it.
Yeah.
So
Well, he tried. He tried to I know he was in on Stamkos, and like there were a couple of those guys where he just ran on a bid. And
Yeah.
guys like Zach just bidding him up.
So I like the Ben and Larson because he's trying to go for it. So don't like the Brody, and I'm okay with Manson at 3.25. I
See,
don't
I'm
like the
not.
5 years on Manson, but at 3.25, I can live with that.
See, the
5
thing
years.
is, this is what Josh will do. Josh will in a year. Josh Manson is not on Josh's team.
No,
He will trade him to. He will trade him to Seattle or Montreal or Pittsburgh for a seventh round pick.
no,
Like
for a second round pick.
he gave away John Carlson.
Yeah, but Carlson had a like $9 million contract or
No, it's like
whatever.
15 million.
Yeah, $15 million contract. He needed to clear the cap space.
Hey,
So,
but Josh Manson, come on.
so. Okay, Pittsburgh.
Eh, they spent some money. I like the Malkin deal, but I like, is he going to be able to move that?
Because Malkin is only helping him get to the floor. That's the only thing he's doing for him.
Yeah.
At
Well,
14, like he's going to have to retain on him if he's going to try to trade him. And Pittsburgh is nowhere near in a position to try to win now.
yeah.
So,
And you can't trade Malkin this year. You're not spending almost 15 million in TCHL cash to trade him with retention.
yeah. Well,
So, well, maybe Pittsburgh does. I don't know. I'm sure Flax is calling every day to get that deal done. Okay.
okay, Seattle.
Seattle. Oh God. Look at all the signings. How much cash is that?
That's like, I
40,
think he had
50?
like $90 million. He had close to $90 million, eh? Or
Oh Lord. He
was I
spent way
wrong?
too
He
much.
had 60. He definitely had 60 million. Because if you look, that's
He spent
30,
over 70 million cash, people.
55. Yeah.
Over
So he's
70
got no more
million
cash now.
cash. And like I hope he likes these guys. I hope he likes them. Because I mean Stamkos, somebody will find a way to take Stamkos into their lineup. But Yanni Gourde, 6 years at 8 million. Who's taking that? Riley Smith, 6 years at 4.8 million. Alec Martinez, 2 years at 5.4. You're in my favorite, Trevor Van Riemsdyk, 6 years at almost 4. Oh my God. The guy's going to be out of the NHL in 2 years. Like he's barely in the NHL right now. Barely. Shattenkirk. Did you not say that he's got a PTO?
He's trying to get one.
Oh, he doesn't even have one yet.
No. And he can't get his
Oh,
contract signed.
Travis
So,
Dermott, Jake Allen, my all-time favorite like the worst, possibly the worst contract.
so yeah.
Oh, Zach, buddy, I love you, Zach. I do, but you
Yeah,
spent way too much money.
I don't like this at all.
Nope,
I don't like this at all.
nope.
That's all I can say.
And okay, I will say this: his team is better next year.
Yes. But
He was saying to us he was going to have a top 5 pick. I'm not convinced that he'll have a top 5 pick in the draft next year. Maybe he does.
okay. So here's where I keep going back to Zach at. Okay, because Zach, the three of us, we chat. Is you traded out of the second pick in the draft this year, okay, which was Ivan Demidov or Caden Lindstrom or whoever you wanted. You traded out of that pick.
Steve Booyah.
Zeke William, because you wanted to have your first round pick next year, right? So you that means you're tanking, just like me, just like Detroit, just like Pittsburgh and whoever else that
We've
is
all been there
you're not trying to win now. Okay? To say the least. You just spent $70 million
to
on
make your
bad
first round
contracts,
pick bad.
that are going to keep you from having a top 5 pick. And your team is still not good enough to make the playoffs because we went over that. You've got Vancouver, Vegas, Calgary, LA that you're not better than in your division. Those 4 teams are the cream of the crop in the league, and they're all in your division.
Well, I want to add one thing onto this, and I feel like we're piling on here.
And we're not.
But
I'm just trying to.
but Zach has 400,000 in DCHL cash right now, and he has a team that is at the salary cap. It's like 80. He's 83 million or something.
Yeah.
His team, if it's not in the top tier, will lose about $10 million this year. And that's 10 million. He only has 400,000. That's not talking about RFAs he has to sign. And that's like his team is going to lose, is going to be in a deficit situation. They're going to have to figure out a way to make money. Maybe, maybe Zach can stand outside the arena on game night with a little hat asking for extra money, because his team is going to have no cash, less than no cash, in a deficit. So, I mean, in the rules of the league, that is, you can be removed as a GM. Now, I sincerely hope the league doesn't do that. But Zach, come on, man, like, you are in big trouble here. You gotta figure out a way to make some cash. Maybe you trade me Cole Perfetti for $10 million. I don't know. That was a joke.
I know.
Although, not a joke.
You would give him $10 million for Cole
Uh,
Perfetti.
he'd want more than that. That's right. He
I
should
know.
get more than
But
that.
but we're just saying we really want you to do well. Like we want you
100%.
to do well.
100%. And
But
we
this
just keep doing hand in our face emojis. Like,
this is not fun for us. So I know, Zach, you're watching, that you need to do better next year, and I know you will.
and doing better might be doing less. Like, I think that's the problem that Zach has, is sometimes what he thinks of as doing better is he has to do more. And sometimes he needs to do less to do better.
So what you're saying is when I go to the bakery, buy less. Don't buy everything.
Don't, yeah, maybe, just look in the window and keep moving.
And keep walking. Take a whiff. Oh, that smells good.
Oh,
And just
see,
keep
I
walking.
have that problem at the Cinnabon. Like, when you walk in the mall and the Cinnabon store,
Yes.
that's the one I have trouble with.
Oh, like yes. I completely understand. St. Louis.
St. Louis. Uh,
So
I, they didn't have a lot, right?
he's got tons of cap space, but he had no cash. Not very much cash. So he's got probably 5 or 6 bottom of the barrel players that he's got bids on right now. So
Yeah.
so
But
he needed to add some players. So yeah.
yeah, I think his contracts were like, yeah, like the Thomas Noshek, 3 years and 1.5. Like, that's not going to hurt him, but I don't think it's really going to help him either. So,
No. It's Pius Suter is at 3.2 for 4 years. He's 29 years old. Is he going to get better? Probably not, but
And he's a
it's
bottom
not
of the
bad.
lineup guy.
It's not horrible,
Yeah.
but it's not great. But this is a rebuilding year for St. Louis, so he did less. He was listening to you. He did less.
Oh, Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay. So
Patrick Kane, 2 years, 10.8. Like, his team is going to be better next year, which is good.
Yep.
And it seems to be moving with his franchise, right? Like, he gets Connor Bedard this year. Like, his team will be progressing forward.
So you just got swingers for Connor Bedard, Joe Pavelski, and Patrick Kane.
Yep.
So he's not going to win, but he needed to do something to improve his cap, to increase his cap.
But
And
next season, he's going to have Patrick Kane and Connor Bedard better than he is this year. And he's going to have, like whatever players he signs next year as well, right? Like
yeah,
he's building that team 1 year at a time.
yep. So I don't know if he's got if he can retain, but Joe Pavelski he'll be able to trade for some futures if he can retain.
Well, 6 million. Like if somebody really wants Pavelski, they can work on a way to get that.
Yeah. So.
And for the record, I don't like Jamie Alexiak at all.
Yeah, that's it.
I don't like
a
the
lot
player.
For
I don't like the
him.
player.
Almost $7 million. Yeah, it's too much.
Yeah. But his sister is an outstanding swimmer.
Yes. Great Canadian.
Oh, I will say this. Josh Liendo, a member of my swim team, silver
Yes.
medalist in the 100 butterfly at the Olympics.
So he won because of you, Steve.
I would say I didn't hurt.
You know what? If he made it, everybody that he's came in contact with had some positive effect for him. So it helped him along the line. So good job, Steve. Toronto.
Okay, so Toronto.
Brady Shea.
Like, this was a smart move. He didn't do a lot, but he got a player that down the road can be an important part of his team. Like Brady Shea will be a bottom four defenseman, but he'll have him in his lineup, or he can trade him.
Yeah, it's he got. I like the Brady Shea. I was going after Brady Shea, but I wasn't willing to pay $10 million for him, so that's why I decided to back off. But at 31 years old, he's still going to be an effective player for the length of the contract.
Well, I see him in the NHL at 36.
Yep, I agree. Trevor, Nick Seeler, and Dave Rittich. So
and that's it.
You got depth players.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
Yeah. Sorry, Trevor, but yeah.
You got depth players. Good job. You're trying to win.
Okay.
Vancouver.
I want to hear what you have to say about Charlie Coyle.
Okay. I've already told Jean that I thought that $9 million was way too much for Charlie Coyle, but I never thought that in the NHL, the Boston Bruins would have a shot at winning or being a competitive team with Charlie Coyle being in their top six. And the Boston Bruins proved me wrong. So the good thing about it, that contract, is it's only 2 years.
See, what's funny to me is if he had signed Charlie Coyle to a 3 or a 4 year deal for and this wouldn't have happened because of the way it worked out, I think. But if he could have went 3 years for $6 million,
Mm-hmm.
That would make more sense than 2 years at 9 million.
Yeah, but he couldn't. I don't think
No,
he
I
could
know, I
bring it
know.
down to 6.
I don't
That's what
think
I'm
he could.
saying. But Jean is really happy with the deal because then him and I talked. He's really happy with the deal, and that's all that counts. He's fitting. Charlie Coyle is fitting into his lineup. It's fitting into his plan.
Yeah,
So if you're happy with it and it's fitting into your plan, good job.
yeah.
You know.
I mean,
So,
your goal should not be to make me happy.
no. Well, I think it should to make me
Well,
happy. No, but no, I'm not sure about you, but it should be about to make me happy.
but David Savard, I actually don't mind the David Savard 4 years at what happened to
Okay.
everything there.
Yeah, it's I'm
David
driving.
Savard was 4 years at 4.8, I think it was.
Yeah.
And like that's an overpayment for sure, but it's not ridiculous.
No, he needed a defenseman and he needed a depth defenseman. So
Although I think the last year, like if he's in the NHL at 38, he's not very good.
no.
He'll
So
be Marcos Scandella in 4 years.
yeah, so you're hoping that he doesn't make it to 38
Yeah.
if you still have him.
And Washington
Hey,
Gage.
Gage. Go ahead.
Okay. The thing I want to talk about is just Cam Fowler. Like I, he Gage is self-destructed his team. Like he blew it up. 3 years at 12 million doesn't make any sense. Because you're not going to be competing in 3 years. So go longer on Cam Fowler or go shorter on Cam Fowler. Or don't go in on Cam Fowler. Like 3 years at 12 million doesn't really work for me logically.
Yeah. I'm like when I was seeing the bids on Cam Fowler, I was like, did I miss something? Did like Cam Fowler is a decent NHL defenseman and
But
he's
he's a
okay in
fourth.
DCHL also, but he's not a $12 million player
No.
at all anywhere. So I don't like that at all, like in any way, shape, or form. So I don't know if he's planning that he needs to spend to the cap for the next 3 years, and $12 million is going to get him to that. But he's not going to be able to trade him, and it's Cam Fowler is, and he doesn't have a team to win. So I think he's just trying to have some cap space for the next 3 years.
Yeah.
That's the only explanation. And if that's the case, then you got a plan. So good job.
Well, again, he shouldn't be trying to garner my approval. But
No,
to me, logically, the 3 years for 12 million makes no sense.
yeah. So
Although, did he spend any cash? He spent 9 million cash on that.
yeah.
And I know
So
who the other goalie was too, by the way.
who's the other goalie?
Cam Talbot, who Winnipeg signed.
Yeah. Okay. That's the other goalie. It was uh what's his name? Jake Allen and Cam Talbot. And I
Yeah.
think that threw you off when you said, you know what?
Well, at that
Freddie
point,
Anderson is gonna go for too much. So I'm
well,
gonna
I figured he would go for more than 5 million a year.
so
Like I was thinking, because to me, Freddie Anderson was more valuable than Jonathan Quick, and yet I signed Quick for 4.2, and you signed over 2 years, and you signed Anderson for 5 years at 3.5 or something,
something like that.
three something. Like so, and guys were bidding who had no need to be bidding on goalies. Like I
That's
couldn't,
true.
I
That's
couldn't
true.
understand.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true.
Like I figured guys
And
were just pushing the salaries up on goalies to not to be dicks, but like I mean, it's a strategy. You're trying to force other people to put more money in.
but
So when I got
it's a
it quick at
you're
4.2, I was happy, but then I was pissed off when I
when I
saw
got
what you got Anderson for.
yeah. So, but you know what? Uh, Randy needs a goalie. He needed a goalie. He needed a starting goalie.
Well,
So
he got probably the best starting goalie that was available. I think rating wise he was.
yeah.
I don't know that in real life Cam Talbot is the best starting goalie, but
But he's another James Reimer. He plays really well in sim.
yeah,
So Randy's trying to win, and he went for the guy that for the best goalie, and he got the best defenseman. So
Randy is the best at playing the game. He's
and
strategically like he's patient, and
and Jared
he
Spurgeon, you and I have talked about it, is an amazing sim player. He's a much better sim player than he is an NHL defenseman.
100%.
Like
And I like the fact that he went for 10.2. Like this is the guy that Detroit should have went after. And
and sign him for 5 years
yeah,
because he's a sim superstar. He's a Hall of Fame sim player.
yeah, freaking Norris Trophy winner in our league.
Yeah.
Like,
And that's what you kept telling me. Why is nobody bidding on Spurgeon? He's a Norris Trophy winner in our league.
and
So
we'll give 12 million to Cam Fowler, but only and 12 million over 3 years. But Jared Spurgeon gets 2 years, 10 million.
then yeah. So the what I would have liked from Randy here is to give a longer contract to Spurgeon.
I think so too. But but
So
but and again, this is credit to Randy is, and he does this with the draft as well. He's patient and he makes good decisions. Like
yeah.
he's just good at playing the game. So, but yeah, it was Cam Talbot going for 9.3 that effed me up over
Yeah.
with Jonathan Quick.
So
And then the bottom fell out on goalies until Jake Allen came around and Zach had an erection for Jake Allen. Oh my God. That is the
yeah.
craziest. That is the craziest contract. Because in 3 years, that contract is just going to be. I don't care what the salary cap is, 100 million. Jake Allen is still going to be painful. What is he like 5 million a year? 4.8.
Yeah. Seattle, Jake Allen, 4.2 million. 5.2 million
5.2 million. There you go.
for
So
six
over
years.
5 million. 6 years. Oh
6
my
years.
God. In 3 years, it's going to be a horrible contract. Right now, it's a contract.
So I just got a message from Ian, which made me very happy. I didn't realize this until now, but I had pick 56 and Ian
Yeah.
is pick 60, and he was planning to take Tsiplak off.
Well, duh.
I know, but I didn't realize because he's Edmonton in this pool, and I'm used to seeing him as Buffalo, so I didn't even put two and two together that he was there. So
So
that
it's the gift that keeps on giving. Not only
exactly,
did you
that
get a
pick is even
player,
better now.
but you upset Ian.
I know that pick is even better now.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh, okay. Well, you know what? I'll give you more ideas for picks that'll piss off Ian.
Okay, sounds good.
Wow, I almost want to follow that draft just to watch it.
So
in my other league, I had one first round pick at 12 or 13. I traded it for 20 or 21 and 32. And I got both the defensemen, Stian Solberg and EJ Emery, with those two picks.
Nice.
I felt like I won the draft when that happened. Like,
Yeah,
because all the
those
top
two
guys
guys.
were gone at 13. And I got Stolberg and EJ Emery.
Good picks. Good picks.
So there you
know
go.
how much of a fan I am of Stolberg and Emery. I really liked also. So
Well,
I think
I
we
think
should
they're
have
can't
taken him
miss
ahead of
defensemen.
Basha.
They are can't miss defensemen.
Yeah.
Like, they're in the NHL defensemen, I think. I mean, anybody can mess up, but I
I
feel like
think
those guys are.
EJ Emery is going to be the Jeff Bukaboom to Brian Leach to a Brian Leach in the NHL for years.
You know what's funny is, like, I was thinking the guy you most not want to play against, EJ Emery, and Jeff Bukaboom is basically the guy you least likely want to play against.
Yeah.
So we're exactly on the same page on that.
Yep.
Like, that guy that's just he's gonna hit you, and you're gonna be, after the game, you're in the ice. You're in the ice.
Ice tub.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
So,
it's just, you're gonna be a bruise.
and he's a much better skater than Jeff Bukaboom was. So
Yeah, Jeff Bukaboom. Yeah, he was my nephew's hockey coach.
was he?
Yeah, when he retired from the NHL, he went. I guess he lived around this area. I think it was Uxbridge. Well, Uxbridge was where my nephew lived, so he must have lived
Okay.
somewhere near there.
Okay.
And he coached their hockey team for a year.
So what happens is that happens all the time is NHL players retire and then they want to coach their kids. They want to spend time with their kids. So it's Scott Adamson.
Yep.
His son for years played with Daniel Alfredson's son, and Daniel Alfredson was coaching them.
Is that Hugo? Hugo?
Yeah.
What was?
Yeah, Hugo. Yeah, was playing with. I always
cool.
forget one of the two.
That's cool.
I think it was Dylan. I'm pretty sure it was Dylan, and I thought for years it was Tyler. But yep, imagine you're playing hockey, minor hockey, and you're being coached by Daniel Alfredson.
Did Marlon ever tell you the time he skipped out from work to go get a bite to eat, and who he ran into at like a Denny's or something?
Marlon didn't tell me. Dawn tell me that story.
Well, because my wife worked with Marlon.
I know.
And he went for lunch. Oh, that's awesome.
He wasn't supposed to be gone, and he's like,
he was almost in tears. Like,
I just met Alexa Yashin, and I can't tell anybody.
And I can't tell anyone. Well, that's good. Okay. You wanted to talk about what we're going to be doing over the next month or so.
Yes.
So let's unshare the screen here.
Okay. Yes. Stop sharing.
We can talk about our plan.
So
there, now they can see our gorgeous faces zoomed in.
I know. So the next 4 weeks, no.
We're not going to do one next week because of the holiday.
No, not next week because of the holiday.
And football draft. Let's be honest. Football draft.
Yes. We're gonna do a division by division analysis preview 1 week at a time. So we're not sure which one we're gonna start with. Yeah, because
let's start with ours because I'd rather get ours out of the way. So because that's the one we're gonna be able to talk on the easiest. And we'll need more prep time with the other divisions.
Yeah. So we're going to do one division at a time, and that way we can spend more time on it and go really in depth of what we our opinion of each division, each team in the division, I know that guys like it when we talk about their team and what we think and what we don't, you know. So will give us an opportunity to look at everybody's teams in depth, so we don't have to jump over teams that we don't have a lot to say about. So now we're
And,
going to have to work harder to go more in depth to look at and do more
and
research.
what we need people to do is fill out their depth charts on
Yes,
their teams. That makes it way easier for us to do this.
yes,
So fill out
absolutely.
your depth charts and maybe we'll make a post. Fill out your
Yes.
depth charts or we will haunt you.
Okay. Good idea. That's really good. And then after that, I was thinking after those 4 weeks, we might be into the start of the season, but then we do a preview show of what our predictions are going to be, like we always do. We bring in a host,
Boards,
like a guest, and we do a take
sure.
predictions that we
I would
always
love
get
to bring someone who
100% right.
hasn't been on before. I would love to bring someone on. Like we all love Trevor Sifton's face, but I mean,
Yeah,
it's not fair that other guys don't get to show off their beautiful faces either.
I know. So
So we have numerous friends of the show that have open invitations. Like
I
Meg, you're always welcome.
I
You
was
haven't
gonna say Meg is our number one fan. Meg,
it,
you're gonna be our guest for that show. You
you
need to
that's
make
your
some time.
job because I don't think Meg wants to. Meg's camera shy.
Oh,
But what's funny is like
you know
nobody
what?
like
I
all
understand
our
because
ones of viewers. He's our only viewer, so nobody's watching now. Like
I
Meg,
understand why he's camera shy, because two good looking guys like us, who would
I
want to
know,
come and
right?
share the camera with us?
I know. It's
Yeah.
like, I was a 10 until I got on the camera with these two guys, and now I'm like a 6.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I promise not to like I'll put less makeup on
Yeah.
that week that you're on, Meg.
Hmm.
But yeah, no, I'd love it. I want to have more interactions with some of these guys. So like maybe this is where Neil can come on too, and
Yeah.
like the new national GM.
New GM. So
Oh no, that's not important. So anyway, yeah, cool. And we'll make a post about this and maybe let people know because that would be really cool.
yeah, I think we're learning and we're adapting, and so I think we're improving our show, and I know people like it because I keep getting messages and people sending us information about.
I am surprised at how many views we get, to be honest. Like
So
I'm surprised. And that's great. I want people to watch. So there you go.
yeah, because I like to talk hockey, obviously, but if you and I can talk hockey without being on camera, if people don't, so, but I get the message all the time that people like our show, so we're gonna keep doing it.
Yep. Until either we grow more hair
Not
or
gonna happen.
we're rotten in the ground.
Yeah.
So okay, why don't we wrap it up here and we'll call it a night for two bald guys talking hockey.
Yep. Have a good night. Great week, guys.
And oh, I almost ended the meeting. I don't want to end the meeting.